Hi guys, so we are doing Magic City Bar Association voting, elections, and absentee Q&As today. I'm going to go over some things that you probably, if you are a Magic City Bar Association member, you probably received in your emails, but let's say you didn't, right? And we're going to go over some things that you might not have seen in your email. So we're going to go over some absentee issues that are affecting people here in Alabama that you might want to be aware of so that you can also be helpful to the people here in Alabama. So if you've done any voter registration drives recently, you probably helped someone file for a request or an absentee ballot request for it to be sent to their house. I have been getting reports that people have not been getting their absentee ballots in times from people who are out of state, from people who are in state, and they have actually had to go in person to vote absentee. So if you are somebody who was not able to take off work on November the 3rd, and there are a lot of people who did pledge the It Takes Two challenge to allow their employees to go and take off time. So if you're not one of those firms who have done that so far, make sure that you commit to that and make sure that's really important because voting rights are super important. And the most important voting right is these absentee ballots that are something that a lot of people are concerned about, whether or not it's going to be counted, if it's going to be invalidated or not. So if you would like to make sure that your absentee ballot is counted and you do have the ability to go in still, the Saturday voting, I don't know if there's any more Saturday in-person votings, but if there are not, just go in person and go ahead and do it if you have yet to receive your absentee ballot in the mail. It's not good to wait until the deadline because then it's too late, right? So if you are not able to take off work on November the 3rd, you still need to vote absentee and you did not receive your ballot, that is what you need to do. You need to go down to the early voting and go ahead and submit it because waiting for the last second, waiting after deadline might be a situation where you invalidate your application. You don't want to do that. You don't want to make anything invalidated throughout this election process. So if you did request absentee and for some reason you're not able to take off work for at least 2 hours to go stand in the lines for election, make sure that that's super important in your day, time, whatever day you can make time, go ahead and stand in that line for early voting because it will be a lot more difficult on the day of election. There may be lines wrapped around the building. If there are lines wrapped around the building, there should be people in place. Now, for the people who have already done so and they want to do more, right? You want to do more in your community. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to go through a email that's been sent out by the Magic City Bar Association, but it has good, crucial information. So I want to make sure that I share that information with you. All right. So let's see, application window. This one. Awesome. So y'all can see me seeing y'all. Great. I can't actually, I need to undo that. Guys, I hate sharing screens. I got to share a tab, one tab at a time. So let's go here with our voter protection efforts. So if you go here, if you are a Magic City Bar Association member, if you're not getting the emails, it's good to go ahead and email contact@magiccityBarAssociation.org to let them know that you're not getting the emails because these emails that are coming out, these series of emails, will go ahead and pay your dues. If you haven't paid your dues, October, re-up, do your dues. But this is really important information that you really should look for. So you need to look for the email that's entitled MCBA Voter Protection Efforts. And these are the efforts. So if you want to do something in person, right? This is an election monitor that is still open and there are options to go ahead and do those things. If you want to volunteer as election monitor, you are going to act as an informed and nonpartisan observer. So this is important and critical. I was an election monitor back when I was in law school. If you are in law or in the field at all, it's very important and crucial for you to report whether or not each polling location has accurate measures in place. And some of the things that are in place are there need to be some type of entrance for disability persons. And if that's not there or is not present or they're not creating a ramp to allow disability or disabled persons into their facility, that is an issue. And that is something that needs to be reported back. If you have people that are waiting in long lines and wrapped around the building or people who are reporting, right? They'll say stuff in line. They will let you know in line, by the way, Nina, I could not do XYZ. Okay, so if they tell you that they were at a different polling location last year and the location completely changed, that's important information. If you operate as an election monitor, let me go ahead and enlarge this so you guys can see it a little bit better. If you're going to function as an election monitor, then you guys need to remember, right, that this is a nonpartisan observer and you're going to answer voters' questions. So you are there to answer questions. So if you guys are looking for or you need to do that, this is information that is sent out from the Magic City Bar Association. So you need to be checking your emails, at least for this email. I know you get a lot of emails all day, every day, but definitely look at this. If you are not getting these emails and you are a member of the Alabama State Bar and you're trying to become a member of the Magic City Bar Association, go ahead and email contact@magiccityBarAssociation.org. That is actually down in the ticker below. So if you want to do something in person, right, you still want to do more for the election. This helps us protect the right to vote. You need to go to these legal trainings. There is one tomorrow, October the 29th at 7 p.m. And the registration link is right there in the email. So all you got to do is click that registration link. It will take you to the registration form, and I'll show you that in a second after we get out of this email. The other thing I want to point your attention to is the virtual support. So you can also register as a legal volunteer with NAACP, right? So you can volunteer as a legal volunteer with them and do an introductory training. They will email you for the recorded training that you need to go through. There's actual election protection hotline, and you can be a hotline captain, or you can work in the call center, however you want to go about it. But all the information is in this email, and the email is votemonitor@naacpnet.org. I did work for the NAACP legal fund for one of the elections in the past. So do volunteer. They need you. If you are already voted, if you did early voting, you need to take it a step further, right? Because service doesn't just stop at voting. It continues on because there are a lot of people who don't know information. There is also a situation where you can have litigation support. If you are selected as litigation support, right, when you volunteer as a legal volunteer, then you can also have your preference when you're registered as a legal volunteer, and you will receive individualized instructions based on the state's needs. And if you know, the volunteer role may be as needed or on call. So if you don't get something, find ways to do more and different ways to do more. So I got another email, right, that has more information in it. So this is just, straight from my email, straight from stuff that people are sending us, right, to make sure that you have the best opportunity to be prepared for the election. So the other one, if you would like to do any poll monitoring or anything like that, right, there are other interest meetings. So this one is from the ACLU. So on Friday, right, and on Friday of this week, I think that's the next one, election volunteers that are needed. This is the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund. This is what I volunteered for when I was in law school. And even if you're not in law school, right, you can still do this. You just go through the training. Once you complete the training, that's it. There's a volunteer meeting that happens. You do all the information. But again, this is information that can be sent out. If you need this email, then go and email contact@magiccityBarAssociation.org, and you can get this information sent to you via email if you don't have it. It also has information about volunteer meetings. It has information about sample ballots. It has information about absentee voting guides. It has a way for you to track. And we're going to go through this track your absentee ballot because this is super important. Because if you're still waiting for a ballot and it says it was sent a while ago and you have not yet received it, let us know, okay? And you can always contact any of these people out here who are doing all of this information. Kanisha is the one who sends this. You can contact the people and let them know that you're having issues with getting your absentee ballot and let them know that that's important. Okay, so I'm letting you guys know that because a lot of us don't have this information readily in our emails, or we don't read it right away, but it is super important. It's very crucial to see these things. So I'm going to go ahead and click a couple of these links so you guys can see how simple it really is to go ahead and register for this information. So once you register, right, if you register for a legal training, right, for a polling place volunteer, all you do is click that link that I showed you guys earlier to register for that training that's on Thursday at 7 p.m. And if you do that, right, it'll click you right here to a Zoom registration link. You put your first name, your last name, your email address, and that's it. You're confirmed for October the 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So it is not a difficult process to go through when you do that, okay? So I want you guys to remember that going forward. Now, there's another link that was in here, right, in the alternate email where it says, you can click here, click here. The one that I want to show you guys today is the Alabama Votes, the sos.alabama.gov, Alabama Votes, and we're going to go and find out what's happening with your absentees. So let me click that real quick to make sure I have everything here. Okay, so there is absentee. There's a good list of instructions now that maybe wasn't there before when you did your registration, but they have it there now. So if you go right to absentee or you have an absentee issue, this is the site that you need to go to, and you can go ahead and save it in your, bookmark it, whatever, if you need to help somebody. But it's just sos.alabama.gov/Alabama-votes, okay? And then you click here, right, in the absentee or my voting information. So my voting information is what I recommend. You do the information lookup and everything like that. So you'll put your information in, you'll put your date of birth in, and it will send you this information. It will send you to a screen, right? Because I'm not going to put the information in at this moment, but it will send them to a screen that will show when their ballot was sent out if they have an absentee ballot, and it will show their polling center. If you need to look at their polling place, that wasn't originally there when we first started looking up with the polling place search stuff, that's there now. So that's something to keep in mind. If you need to help somebody, that's all you need to do is you need to click that link. So all I did, right, what did I click? I clicked my voting information, and that's how I did it. If you're having absentee issues, right, if you have any of the issues, you need to go here to the absentee voting eligibility and things like that. They have absentee ballot. They have a procedure for how it needs to be done. This procedure is something I do want to highlight. So I'm going to try to enlarge this a little bit just so y'all can see it, because I pull my information straight from the site. I don't try to, pull anything else, because they want you to do it exactly as stated. So the absentee ballot has 3 envelopes. One is the secrecy envelope. One has the affidavit or oath printed on the outside, and the one is a plain pre-addressed envelope, and that's the outer envelope. Once the voter casts that ballot, the procedure is as follows. You must seal the plain envelope. You must place the plain envelope inside the accompanying affidavit envelope, and then you have to seal the affidavit envelope and complete the affidavit that is outside of the envelope. Then you must sign the affidavit and have the signature witnessed by either a notary public or 2 witnesses that are 18 years of or age of older. If you have a witness or notarization, this is super important. Absentee ballot cannot be counted unless the affidavit is notarized or has the signature of these 2 witnesses. So you need 2. Okay, so if you don't have 2 people, then go get it notarized. You can get it notarized at the bank for free. They have opened up in-person services at this point at some banks, so you are able to do that. And then the voter has only the following legal ways to return this absentee ballot. They can take it to U.S. mail. They can take it to a commercial carrier, so forward it to a commercial carrier, and then you can personally hand your own absentee ballot to the absentee election manager or deliver by designee in the case of emergency. Okay, there is a deadline, right? And it's no later than 5 p.m. for that stuff to be turned in. So if you guys don't know this information, you can send people to this website, which is done through the sos.alabama.gov at Alabama-votes. Okay, so this is important information that you need to be sharing with people who don't know, because there's still time, right, to get the absentee. Now, let's talk a little bit about if you have issues, right, with absentee, or if you have some problems. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So if you are still here with me or listening right now, this is a chance for you guys to ask questions while I go ahead and find the information that you definitely need before you guys get off this or call. So if you guys have questions or information that you need to let me know, that you're concerned about, let me know so that I can continue to cover those. Outside of that, you vote absentee by mail. You can vote absentee in person, and you can vote on November the 3rd. And that is, that's really the important information that you have going on. The 29th is the last day to request an absentee ballot. And the 29th is the last day to vote in person absentee. And the 19th was the last day to register to vote. So if you're not registered, it's okay. I know, we'll get you in on the next cycle. But if you are registered to vote absentee, the 29th, that's coming up. What day is that? That's Thursday, right? The 29th is Thursday. Poll workers, if you are needed, right? If you want to be a poll worker, if you wanted to be a poll worker, that information might still be available. I don't know. But if you do want to be a poll worker, this is the website that you go to. Okay. So if that's something that it's still something you're thinking about, they still need it. There's a lot of poll workers that might be needed for this election versus another one. So if you want to become a poll worker, this is an information or website where you can find that, the alabamademocrats.org/become-poll worker. And if you click the apply now, right, it takes you to the Secretary of State's website. So remember, I told you guys the Secretary of State website is super important. So it's going to take you to this website. Okay, so nobody does anything without the Secretary of State being involved. So if you are saying or finding all these companies that are saying, hey, I want to become a poll worker. They're just going to send you to the Secretary of State's website, right? To become a poll worker, you do the application. All of that information is done. And I have received a summons to be a poll worker. You have to register the vote at the precinct in which they desire or act as a poll worker. So whichever place that you are needed, or your precinct, wherever is needed, go ahead and register. They'll need help. So go ahead and go through that process. If you have difficulties, that's the question, because a lot of people have had even difficulties becoming a poll worker. So if you are having difficulties at any point, if you had difficulties volunteering, or you want to volunteer, or you want some internships, or you want to do poll working, they have another site that is for like high schoolers and seniors and things like that. If you want to go through that process as well, there is another link. All of these links on these websites are going back to the Secretary of State. So all of this is found on the Secretary of State of Alabama. But if you don't know what it is, again, sharing it now. It's the sos.alabama.gov/index.php/student-poll-workers-internship. And it has the information. So all you got to do is search, because they put it pretty easily to find. So I'm telling you guys this information, not because I don't think you guys know, but because you might still want to be of service in this election, okay? And last but not least, if you would like to be a poll watcher, okay, that is something that you can do, and almost directly, they have an online form that you can go through. So if you want to be a poll watcher, right, that's still a thing. So if you want to do that, the Alabama Democrats have a nonpartisan way to watch the polls. All watchers, all poll monitors, this is nonpartisan. So they have a morning shift from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. They have an evening shift from 2 p.m. to 10, and they have a full day shift on November 3rd from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. If you can't commit, that's fine. You can let them know if you're doing, as a student or as a lawyer. But that's super important information. If you guys are still looking for ways to do that, that's important. That's critical. So this is a situation where if you have questions, definitely let us know at the Magic City Bar. Use contact@MagicCityBarAssociation.org. If you are having issues or anything like that, there are plenty of hotlines, but everything, as I've showed you guys, has gone back to the Secretary of State's website. So if you're having issues with the Secretary of State or anything like that, you let them know. But you can also let me know if you want to. My email is nina@ninarspierlawfirm.com, and I will do my best to put you guys in touch with the correct people. I will put my information in the comments. So if you guys want to, you guys are welcome to contact me or reach out to my office, and I will do my best to put you guys in touch with the correct people for your issue related to voting, because voting to me is super important. And so if you guys were out at these voter registration drives recently, kudos to you guys. Kudos to everybody involved. Here is my information. If you need my email, it's nina@Nina-R-Spear-Law-Firm. And again, I will connect you to the people that you need to talk to related to your voting issues. But this is important information. If you plan to vote in this election, don't let just voting be on your agenda. Make it more than just the vote. Make it something that you can give back to your community and the issues. I've never been a poll worker before, but I signed up this year to be a poll worker because they need help. Okay, so if you can sign up, if there's any opportunity for you to still volunteer in some capacity, I know that life is busy. I know that business has picked up, but take November 3rd off and do something for this election. You can still be of service. You can still do more. And you might not think your vote matters, but every single thing that you observe, you watch, you do goes towards making sure that this process runs smoothly and seamlessly. So remember, it doesn't matter where you fall. I just need you to go and make sure that you are of service and that you are getting people the right information about absentee stuff, because I have heard it. Many people have come to me with their absentee ballot issues. So if you are having an absentee ballot issue and you have not received it yet, my advice to you is to go ahead and take it down to vote in person. I know you do not want to. You should be able to mail it in, but it's not worth taking that risk. So I thank you guys so much for listening. This has been a 20-minute, well, less than 20 minutes session. So I love you guys. Vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. Bye, guys.